Hey guys, welcome back to another Canine Performance podcast episode where it is our mission to help you live a better life with your dog. I'm your host, Natalie Dobkins, and today's podcast episode is going to be on rookie mistakes in dog training. This one is a very important topic and one that I feel needs to be discussed frequently because I believe that rookie mistakes happen to trainers who are even experts in the field. And what do I mean by that? I was watching a video on YouTube the other day. I can't remember the name of the trainer. I think it was, I'm going to horribly butcher this. Denise Frenzy. I can't remember. But I started looking into a lot of her work, and I just remember watching a video that she was doing, and partway through she was like, oh wait, no, hold up, I just made a mistake right there. And she did it so fluidly, and it kind of caught my attention in that moment because she is someone I looked into her work, and she's been in the industry for a very long time. She has a very solid name for herself. Other trainers also want to learn from her as well. And she was just like, oh no, that was just a mistake that I did. And it was over something, I think, using proper reward placement. And I was like, wow, I really relate to that, because putting out a lot of content, can be a double-edged sword, because on some days I feel like I am helping a lot of people and I'm putting out good education and knowledge, but then on some other days, or even on those days that I feel good about it, I don't feel qualified enough. And it's because of these rookie mistakes that we make in dog training. But after watching that video of her on YouTube, it really made me remember that even experts in the field are going to fumble on their markers, and they are going to have incorrect reward placement, improper timing, miss an opportunity to correct or reinforce a behavior, mark and reward at the same time, just all of these different things. Leash handling, I know that that's something that I'm constantly trying to get better at, specifically in my long line work. And so there's all of these little mistakes that as dog trainers, we're always like, oh, you need to have really good timing, and you need to have proper handling of your equipment, and you should not mark and then reward at the same time. And, the list goes on and on and on. And that gets told so frequently that sometimes when I make those mistakes, it makes me feel like I am not qualified enough. And after watching her on YouTube, listening to Chad Mackin, who I just started listening to him recently, he was also saying the same thing he's like, yeah, I still make those mistakes. And so I think that more light being brought onto the subject of, even as trainers, like, we make mistakes all the time. And I think that for me, using the marker and then also rewarding at the same time was my biggest pitfall for a very long time. And it made an impact in my work because, those markers were not being fully charged because I wasn't doing it correctly. So it's those things that I'm cognizant of and I am trying to do better, but it's also something that this is my field of expertise and I still make rookie mistakes on them. And, for those of you at home that are looking to trainers like me and other notable industry giants, that they are also making mistakes as well. Maybe we don't post it all the time, but even my work that I'm posting now, if you were to go back through those videos and the more and more that you learn through dog training, you can see the 15 different mistakes that I made. And honestly, that's what's made it pretty hard about putting out content, is because I want things to be perfect so badly. And I'll look at these videos before I post them and I'll be like, oh my gosh, like, so many people are going to see this and they're going to tell me that I did this wrong. And, the list goes on and on and on. And, and I'm like, oh, those are just like such basic mistakes. Like, why did I do that? But I still pushed myself to put that out there because, for one, I want people to know that I'm not always perfect. I make those mistakes fewer and farther in between, but I still make them. And you can also make them at home too, just as long as you take the just the effort to see your mistakes as they happen and then say, okay, I'm making this mistake right now. How can I make it better? And, some solutions to that. One of the things that has helped me, even though I cringe at it really hard, is filming myself. So kind of got into the habit of live streaming hand feeding of Atlas and Aurora for their dinner every night, and then going back and watching those videos and just critiquing myself and having that reward placement in correct timing. One of the most notable ones that stuck out in my brain was that I was doing some spin moves with luring, because I'm trying to get better at my luring skills. And I was doing some of that with Atlas, and I was doing a spin move, and I was just marking and rewarding at the incorrect time. And, I said that during the live stream of just like, yeah, right now you're watching this, and the thing that I'm thinking to myself as I'm doing this work is that I spun my hand too quickly away from him. I would like his nose to be pressing up against my hand as I lure him around in that, spin motion. And then I didn't wait for his body to straighten out before I marked and then rewarded. And so he's has incorrect body positioning that I don't want. And then I just marked and rewarded for that. And then just saying that in real time. And I think that that's important to be able to recognize our mistakes in real time and not beat ourselves up over it and just be like, yep, that one was a no-go. For this next rep, let's try and do better at that, okay? And then just taking it progressively from there and then going back to the drawing board. So filming yourself really helps. And another thing that has really helped me, and I know that not everyone has done sports growing up, but I was a collegiate cheerleader in college. I was also a cheerleader in high school. I also ran track and field. And something that really helped me, and it might not be sports, maybe you have done something in your life that you have developed a really great skill at, but I think that everyone that has developed a skill has done this specific sort of practice where you are starting to move through your activity that you're doing. You make a mistake, you recognize that you made a mistake, and then you say, yep, made a mistake. And so you go back to the beginning, you try it all over again. And then at the point that you made the mistake last time, you don't make the mistake. And you're like, okay, cool. And then you just keep on going until you make another mistake. You recognize it, you go back to the beginning, and then you keep on going again up until that point and see if you can get over that hurdle. So in a way, it's kind of like maybe playing video games of, when you're playing Super Mario and you're trying to jump over this really difficult crevice that's there and you die that first time. So you have to go all the way back to the beginning, and then you get to the part that you died at again, and you have to keep trying to get over that. And then once you get over that, then the game saves at that point, and then you keep on going. So it's kind of that system of not just saying, okay, well, I made that mistake and then I'm done, or you make the mistake and you kind of polish over it and you don't go back and addressing it. Success and skill and knowledge truly happens when you recognize the mistake, go back to the beginning, try again, and every single time you are more and more cognizant of the fact of those mistakes that you're making. And that's how you can get better. Sure, those mistakes are going to happen from time to time, but I think that bringing more light and attention to that is something that can be very beneficial for everyone in the dog training space and community. So, and that's also to say for other dog trainers, if there are any other dog trainers that are listening to this, or owners, dog enthusiasts, whatever it may be, that don't be scared and hesitant to put your content and knowledge and information out there. I don't think that there's really any day, even right now as I'm doing this podcast, I don't feel qualified to be doing this, but I am doing it anyway because I think that the knowledge I have, even though I'm not what I would consider myself an expert, and even though I don't feel qualified, I do have a lot more knowledge and education and information on topics that not everyone has. So I put out the information that I do know, that I do believe in, that I have accumulated throughout the years and I have put into practice with dogs. And so if you're listening to this and, you're a trainer and you're really scared and hesitant to put content out, which I totally agree. I understand how scary that can be. There are some very cruel people out there that will, there's a difference in between critique and criticize, and they'll be quite cruel in how they deliver information, and they'll do it publicly. So I understand the hesitation, but at the same time, for that one person that's going to be cruel to you online, you are going to be helping a lot of other people. And I think that's really important, of just owning up to the mistakes that you make and just trying to progressively get better from there. But the main point and purpose is that here's the information, here's a video of me working. If you made a mistake, be upfront, point it out, and be like, yep, made a mistake right here, but the rest of it, you get the idea. Here's the, yada yada that I'm working on. So yeah, just maybe a little bit of comfort for you out there working with your dog, that not everyone has great timing. Not everyone has great reward placement, correct use of markers, having patience, knowing when to call the session and have it done. Everyone makes these rookie mistakes, and even experts in the field are going to make them as well. So that's everything that I have for this podcast episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you would like to find us on Instagram, the handle is Canine Performance, CANINE_performance. You can also find us on Facebook under the same name. And if you've been listening to our podcast episodes and you enjoy them, you've gotten a little nugget of information, I'd appreciate it if you could leave a review for me so I can know what to do more of, less of, whatever it may be. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.